for these families.
The House will now proceed with private member statements. Are there any statements? I call the Minister for the Environment and Member for Maitland.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. As many in this place will be aware, the Minister for Education recently announced that the government will conduct an assessment of public schools to establish the current backlog of demand for maintenance work. From my personal experience, this cannot happen quickly enough for the Maitland electorate. After just 5 months as a local member, I must admit that I am troubled by some of the challenges that I've seen being faced by the teachers and pupils of Maitland Public Schools every day. So far, I've had the opportunity to visit public schools at Morpeth, Rutherford, Woodbury, Bulwarra, Gilliston and the Hunter River Community School for Children with Special Needs. I thank the principals, teachers, support staff, parents and citizens associations and the pupils for their warm welcomes and the insight which has been provided to me so that I can lobby on their behalf. I've also had the pleasure of visiting several of the high schools, Rutherford Technology High School and Maitland High School most recently. According to the Minister for Education's media release, the last assessment conducted in 2008 by the previous government showed that $397 million maintenance backlog. Responsibility for this neglect must rest squarely with the Labor Party, who had 16 years controlling the purse strings of the state. There is one school in particular that is testament to this underfunding of maintenance by the last Labor government. I won't name the school, but I've written to the Minister drawing his attention to its extreme dilapidation. This is a summary of what the school's P&C showed me, and from it you'll begin to understand why I'm so troubled by what I saw. Only one of the 4 classrooms for special needs pupils has a ramp for disabled access. It has no feeding or wet areas and only one disabled toilet. Furthermore, there is no playground space for these students, nor is there a recreation area for the whole school when its oval is unavailable for use. The oval can only be described as being in very poor condition in general. There are inadequate facilities for the 120 Aboriginal students. Home economics rooms at the school are unfit for food technology classes because the cupboards are rotting and moulding. Demountable classrooms at the school leak and have been supplied to a hot summer climate without blinds. Many demountables are unable to access the school's wireless IT system for laptops or other computer connectivity, a problem I now understand, fortunately, is in the process of being overcome. The library roof leaks, and when I walked through the school, I was using the same well-worn floor coverings that were traversed by the original students 26 years ago. The opposition may regard themselves as the friend of the worker, but the occupational health and safety conditions at this school proves that to a fallacy. Staff officers have insufficient work in meeting areas, posing significant OH&S concerns, and the staff room is simply not large enough to accommodate the staff at the school. And this situation won't improve overnight because the school, built for 400 students, is currently catering for 1,100 pupils, and that figure is forecast to continue increasing in the years ahead. I'm told there appears to be no plans at this stage to build another high school, which may help to alleviate the situation. Adding to this school's plight, it did not receive any large measure of the federal government school stimulus funding, even though other equivalent schools in my electorate received upgrades and renovations. Recently, I have also had the opportunity to raise the issues of this school and problems highlighted at others with the Hunter Central Coast Asset Management Unit of the Department of Education and Communities. I applaud the Liberals and National Government's foresight to now have the condition of buildings and grounds at every public school across the state assessed every 2 years. By having regular condition assessments that identify emerging and urgent maintenance needs, they can be dealt with in a more timely and efficient manner. I note from the Minister for Education's announcement that the results from the round of assessments about to start will be completed in time to be considered in the 2012-2013 state budget. Given what I've seen, I can only hope that the Department of Education and Communities looks closely at the Maitland electorate and begins the task of providing our public schools with the learning environment we should expect in the 21st century. Mr Speaker, I must say on my tour of schools, and I'm trying to do them as often as I can, I continue to be impressed by the level of passion that I see from teachers, how engaged students are, and how willing the P&Cs are for those schools to be engaged. All they need is a government, unfortunately they've got one now who listens to their needs, but it is a huge task ahead of us to try and turn around this huge maintenance backlog.